All right. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report for a Ruby Tuesday, March 30th. Hopefully you're having yourself a good start to your morning. Hopefully you had your first cup of Java. And, hey, hopefully you had a winning night last night in the NBA, NHL, or college basketball. And we got a great show lined up here today. And before I get to the show, just want to introduce myself. My name is Ron Raymond. I'm a four-time sports handicapping champion here, located in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And been doing this since 1996. My first site that I started was phoenixsports.com. Wrote a book in 2009 called Ron Raymond's Top 50 Sports Betting Secrets, which you can get on Amazon. Or if you want a free copy, just send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to send you a free copy of the book. And the founder of the World Series of Handicapping, going into season number 10 at worldseriesofhandicapping.com. And let's see who we got in the bullpen today. There's G&G. Good morning, G&G. How you doing? The sniper's in the house. And, always got to do a sound check here to see how the sound's doing. So if you guys can let me know if the sound check is good. Because you know how it goes, right? When you're a one-man show type thing. You close the lights, you mop the floors, and, you wish everybody a good night on the way out, right? There's Miss Denica. How you doing? Andreas. How you doing, Andreas? And sound is good, says Miss Denica. Perfect. All right, so let's see what we got lined up on the show here today. And hopefully you guys took advantage of some of the winning picks we gave out yesterday here on the show. And we're going to, one of the things I love doing is Ron's rant of the day, the topic of the day, right? And the way I get the topic is that I just wait and I wing it in the morning to feel what the day feels like, right? I go with the moods of the markets, of the industry, basically how I'm feeling that day. And that's how I get my rant of the day, my topic of the day. I just do it in the top of the morning, or I'll think about it the night before, and I just follow the markets. And today's rant of the day is learning to win at sports betting. Man, I got to stop drooling all over this show, eh? Learning to win here at sports betting. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go review the hockey pick winners, hockeypick.com winners, and bullpenpicks.com will be starting on Thursday. Opening day is bullpenpicks.com, Major League Baseball opening day, and I'm looking forward to that. In fact, I've been doing some videos here on the YouTube channel promoting the hockeypicks.com leaders and bullpen picks. And programmers are working on a basketball site and a football site. So I will have all four major sports going eventually. And we will get that up eventually and pretty soon. All right, horse racing. Today's track of the day is Will Rogers Down is the tip sheet of the day. We're going to think like a bookmaker, see what the SBI is in the market, the sports betting index, the Bears and Bulls report. And today I'm going to give out my futures picks in Major League Baseball and who I think is going to win each division. And I'll be giving those selections up very shortly. And then we're going to handicap the NBA, NHL, and then it's going to be last call. All right, so let's see who's in the Reggie Clark's in the house. Good morning, Reggie. And let me see here what people are saying in the bullpen. And the bullpen is where we keep our chat, so people chat, and that's what we call the bullpen. Andrea says he won every bet yesterday, even the Clippers, money line without Paul George. Nice. And my only loss was the Sabres. Was worth a shot. You know what? Sabres had a 3-0 lead. So I feel your pain, but I'm sure they feel it even worse, right? So let's get to the topic of the day. And I got a good topic here today, guys. Over the last couple of days, I've been talking about how to win. Winners win. How do you get winners? And the more you're involved, they say if you really want to master your craft, you got to put 10,000 hours in it, right? And I felt like I put a lot of hours into sports betting. And here's the question we all got to ask ourselves. Am I winning at sports betting? That's a tough question to answer sometimes, right? Because people, sometimes they don't want to face the truth that, they're not winning. And sometimes that becomes a very uncomfortable conversation for some people, right? In the household or whatever. And the thing is, you really got to focus on saying, what am I doing? Well, how am I winning? Or how am I losing? And how do I need to change what I'm doing? And last week we talked about the two types of bettors, right? You got your action bettors who just want action on all the games and really not really thinking about the outcome of their bankroll. And then you got the sports investors, right? People who wager on sports and pick their spots and look at this like the stock market. And, it made me think of something. It made me think of a great question right here. Now, in the stock markets, when we buy stocks, and I look at teams like the stock market, right? Tampa Bay could be Tesla. The Toronto Maple Leafs could be Apple. You know where I'm going with that. But here's the thing we always ask in the stock market, right? When's the best time to buy and when's the best time to sell, right? So they always say you buy low and you sell high. How do you buy low in sports betting? That's I was thinking about that, and I said, that's one thing to think about. How do you buy low in sports betting? And what I come up with is this. I think you buy low when teams lose, right? Because that's when their market is down. So teams that are losing, that's a good time to buy on those teams, right? Now, at what point? How many losses do you consider buying, right? Is it 1 loss, 2 loss, 3 loss, 4 loss? And this is why I grade teams. That's why I grade teams A, B, and C. And at the end of the day, winners win. I say it all the time on this show. When you follow losing teams, only bad things happen. Don't expect losing teams to do good things. There's a reason why they keep standings. It's to show you their win percentage, their wins, their losses, what type of team they are. And when you look at a league from a macro point of view, each team is a micro asset. And how does that asset compare in the whole league or the whole macro point of view, right? And when you follow winners, eventually you will lead to winning days. But the thing is, in sports betting, I think we are blinded by all the games, all the matchups, everything that you see every day. I always say in sports betting, not every day is going to be a Picasso. And not in the stock market the same way. Not every day you're going to make X amount of gains. When the markets are going crazy and people are making money and some people are losing money, or when the markets are down. It's hard to make money when teams are losing, right? And the thing is, you got to know when to pick your spots. And as a sports betting investor, I'm going to give one example of what I think on a system that I'm going to be toying with this Major League Baseball season, and it goes like this. When I did my research this morning, you got to follow favorites, right? And follow favorites. So I'm going to use baseball as an example, and I'm going to go to the New York Yankees. And the Yankees, to me, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Rays. You look at the Atlanta Braves. Those are teams that are consistently winning, right? Those are our favorites. That are 80% of the time they're favorites. Maybe 70%, 70 to 80% of the time they're favorites. But I wanted to see this season. I'm gonna try this system out. How do favorites do at home as a home favorite coming off a loss, right? Or then there's the different types of progression betting, but I want to see what the Yankees' record were as a home favorite coming off a home loss the last 2 years. And look at that record, 21-5. They are 21-5, and if you look at the Oakland Athletics, the same type of scenario right here, right? Oakland Athletics as a home favorite coming off a loss, 17-6. So those are two types of teams that if you follow during the baseball season, and you can do it for NBA. Well, NBA, you know what? I found it, and I'm still doing some research on this. Point spread teams are tougher to find because of the point spread, right? The point spread is the great equalizer. And money line compared in baseball to, like, say, the Clippers, if they're, or the teams that's minus 10, they're going to be like a $500 money line, right? And that's kind of tough. But one thing I'm going to try to follow this year is follow A-type teams, and I think the at home, there's the winning percentage of teams like the A-type teams have a higher win percentage at home, and buy low, sell high philosophy. And if you say you bet the New York Yankees coming off a home loss, and depending on the series, right? Maybe you started off on a progression betting in the game one of a series, right? So if I go to, like, say, the New York, let me try the Oakland Athletics as a home favorite. Let me say first game of a series. The last 2 years, 22-11. So hey, teams, that's a pretty good record. Let me see last season. And last season it was a shortened season, so it was 2020. Last year, first game 8-4, which is still good. And this is where progressive betting can come in, right? So let's say you're betting Oakland as a favorite, first game of a series, and you bet, say, $100. Well, if they win that first game, you've made your profit on that asset. And now you take the weekend off because you made your unit, right? Or whatever you signify unit. Now let's say Oakland loses that first game, and then you double up on the next game, but you're playing on a team that's a favorite and they got a good history, and if they win the second game, well then you lost your first game, but then if you win the second game, but you have to double up to make sure that you win the unit that you're trying to capture, right? And the thing is, it could work either way too, right? And let's say if it goes and they lose the second game, then you got to go double up again, and then if it loses, then you lose. But if it wins, you got a better chance of winning with an A-type team in that format than you do losing, right? So it looks like I'm boring everybody. I don't see everybody chatting or anything in the dugout. Maybe it's too heavy for you guys on a Tuesday morning. But I would love to hear your feedback on some of these betting systems. And the more you're into sports betting, the more you realize, am I winning? I used to have a friend I used to play hockey with, and everywhere he went, he just won. And we talked about, having a mindset of winning, right? And this guy just said, you know what? Winners win. And winners find a way to win. And when I was coaching football at university, winning comes at a high price. I always say when you coach football at a high level, the higher you coach, the less fun you have, because winning at all costs at a high level, like say, I can't even imagine like say NFL or CFL, but I coach football in the university in Canada, and the thing is, the two things I took out of coaching at university, number one is that the higher you coach, the less fun you have, and if you're losing, it's not a lot of fun, and then two, the amount of time, the sacrifice that goes into a week to get that W on game day. It's a big sacrifice, and you're sacrificing time, energy, your social life, and just relating everything back to sports betting. The same thing can be said about sports betting, right? How are you approaching your sports betting so that the sacrifices you are making to win? Winning at what cost, right? And the thing is, if you want to win on a consistent basis, you got to put the old TI, right? We used to call it military time in. You got to put time in, and I think by putting time in and finding success, it could be a great gratifying thing as well. Because trying to find the caramel secret, that's we used to have a thing, right? Enjoy the process. Enjoy the process of what you're doing, because you just don't know what the outcome is going to be at times, right? But if you're enjoying the process and you're having fun, then that's something that everybody benefits from. So anyways, that's the Ron's rant of the day. I wanted to bring that to your attention today and give you something to chew on. And I'm going to be playing this system, and I'm going to pick my spots betting on A-type teams. Teams like, the teams that are, Dodgers, Yankees, Oakland, and I'll give you guys some of my other favorites that I have winning the divisions this year. So love to, so I wrote down some of the things that I want to talk about in that topic, but I'll leave it at that. And how do you find winners? And learning to win at sports betting, right? It's there's so many people who's coming into this industry thinking it's so easy to win, but I think the first thing you really need to do is distinguish what kind of bettor are you. Are you an action bettor, or are you an investment bettor? And once you you buy into one of those phases or those investors, then you're going to realize, hey, if you're betting every day and you're betting every game, you're going to lose your butt. And only 95% of gamblers lose. And you can ask anybody. And that's because they don't know when to cash out. gamblers never know when to cash out because they always want, it's like the crack addict. They always want the higher high, right? Everybody's looking for the higher high, and sometimes when you're watching sports, you're betting, the old dopamines kick in, and people just don't know when to cash out, right? So anyways, there's Ron's rant of the day, and hopefully you enjoy that. I'd love to hear your feedback, or if you have any comments, put it in the bullpen. And again, this show is about making you think, right? When I first set out to do the show, it was about to not to be boring, but always to learn and how to get better. There's no age on when you stop learning, right? You could be 16, 18, 22, 52, 75. There's never an age on learning. All right. So, let me see here. Ron, how's it going? Let's outsmart the bookmakers today, says Johnny Brasco. Absolutely, let's outsmart them. Who doesn't like money, says Andreas. Hey, says John X. John X sneaking in at the last minute there. I see you, Johnny. Hey, you're not boring, Ron. Just taking it, knowledge and great sports betting. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate that. And I'm going with San Diego this year, says John X. What website do I wager on? You know what? Because YouTube has these crazy rules, I'll just say bookmaker, and you guys can figure out the rest, right? There's a lot of great books out there, and yeah. I'm in Canada, and now you're seeing the landscape of sports books and sports betting. You're seeing all these corporate books come in now, like the DraftKings, the FanDuels, which are trying to get market dominance in certain areas of the country in North America. It's really tough sometimes to really talk about sports betting because you just don't know what the rules are anymore. You say this, oh, you shouldn't say that because it's illegal here or whatever. But from an international point of view, being from Canada, and you got these offshore sports books that are international sports books. You got a lot of great sports books out there, and my favorite is Bookmaker, and I'll leave it at that. All right, let's go to the hockeypicks.com website. And let me see here, hockeypicks.com. And this is a great website. You know what? It's probably one of my favorite websites because it involves a lot of great hockey minds. And there's good hockey people. And being Canadian also, I'm a little biased to it because I played hockey my whole life. But there's a lot of great handicappers on this. And one of the best ways to play the site is make your selections and then follow some of the top pickers here. And the way you see who the top pickers are is you can go by the gauge by the most followed. And normally the people are most followed is because other people are following them. And look, I own the site and I'm only the fourth most followed. So that, to me, that's awesome. Because I don't want to be the most followed guy here if I'm not winning. And people should follow winners. Topic of the day, learning to win at sports betting. And right now, I'm telling you guys, these are three guys that you should be following right now. Vascow, Joker, 777, and Muskow, Eddie Drake. You see him here in the bullpen. These are guys you should really follow here at hockeypicks.com. These guys are winners, and like my good friend Todd would say, winners win, right? Bullpenpicks.com, same concept, same format. You go in. Now today's Major League Baseball, and it'll be the last day of Major League Baseball, and then from there we go to the tomorrow's the day off, and then opening day. We're gonna put ribbons all over this place. Maybe if I had some of those those ribbons there you see on opening day, I would love to put it in the backdrop. I think that would be awesome. But so check it out, bullpenpicks.com, hockeypicks.com, and I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about if your name is Eddie, you want to be on Streakcatcher, right? Because it seems like everybody named Eddie's on Streakcatcher. Let me see, is there any Eddies here on the front page? I don't see an Eddie, man. What's going on here? Did we, the programmer, take them all out? But look at Perk 12-12 here. He's on a 5-game win streak. And Perk had the Winnipeg Jets last night. And Winnipeg did a great job winning last night. And, so streetcatcher.com, a great website, one pick a day. And, if you really want to get into it, streetcatcher.com is a great money management site. If you just bet the top leaders pick and going with the less is more theory, bet the thing in sports betting, there's always a hot hand somewhere. You just got to go find it. All right, so those are the websites today. And what's the next topic here on the agenda? Horse racing. Let's go to the horse racing pick of the day. And today's a new track. We're going to Will Rogers Down. Will Rogers Down. And let me just check the bullpen, see what everybody's saying. John Brasco, morning sniper. I'm going, Ron, what website do you bet? All right, I've got different bookies, says Andreas. Mostly using 3. Yeah, it's good to have about 2, 3, right? You want to shop for numbers. Also continue with the Ron's rant. It's good for the soul from a veteran coach. Right on, Johnny. I love that. Yeah, you know what? I always love to bring in my experience in coaching, because to me, coaching is one of the funnest things that I enjoy doing in life. Coaching football, when I'm coaching with good people in a good organization. You know, if you've been involved in sports, it can go either way. You can have a bad experience coaching, or you can have a great experience. And the players makes the difference. Good parents, when you have good parents that support the team, and especially in the time like we are now, right? It takes money to run things, and when you got parents that support. And the one thing I've learned in coaching football is parents want one thing for their kids. They want them smiling. That's the biggest thing in coaching. If you're a young coach and you're learning for the first time, you're just trying to get into coaching, always remember the parents' main objective is they always want their kids to be happy. That's one thing I took out of football. And when the kids are happy, the parents are happy, and you give them a great experience. And that is a Ron Raymond, another rant right there on the Rain Report. All right, let's go to the Will Rogers Downs today. I forget where Will Rogers is. I know it's Midwest. I want to say Kansas City or Nebraska. I want to say one of those two. If I'm right, just put it in the bullpen and let me know what you think. But let's go to race number 1. DJ voice coming out now. Race number 1 today at Will Rogers Down. $8,580 maiden claiming race in race number 1. 3 p.m. post time. 5.5 furlongs under dirt. We're going to go 4-2-3 in race number 1 today at Will Rogers Down. And we're going to take Mystical Matilda. That's a nice name. Mystical Matilda. 4-1 morning line on the Mystical Matilda. Conclave taking the ride. Conclave is now 43% in the money. Last 100 race. Gospel Dewey, the number 2 horse, 7-2 morning line. And the 3 horse, Faithfully Yours. Worthy Jr. taking the ride here on Faithfully Yours. And your long shot is a long one today. Your Joker's Wild is a big long shot in race number 1 today at Will Rogers Down. Is the 6 horse, Argento. Triana Jr. taking the ride here on Argento. Now, if you're going to bet these plays today, guys, we're going to go number 4-2, 2-3, 3-6, exact the box. And if you're going to play trifecta, go 4-2-3, 6-2-3, trifecta box. Always box those horses. And if you're going to play the Joker's Wild Selection, the number 6 horse, Argento, I always recommend bet if you got a $20 budget in the first race, go 10 to win, 10 to place. This way, if Argento comes in second, probably pay more than the favorite. All right, let's take a look at what people are saying here in the bullpen. It's the only thing I didn't do in sports coaching, says John X. The sound went a bit robotic, but no echo. I'll auto-tune robo voice later, says Miss Donica. Right on. He's making it sound like we're live at the track, folks, said the sniper. Yeah. Hey. Remember Dan Lazelle, or he used to be the horse track announcer at Woodbines. Great announcer. I don't think he does it anymore. I know it's a new guy. Actually, I met the Robert. Is it Robert? I think it's Robert now. I was in the booth actually a couple years ago. Remember? If you go to look at Twitter, I filmed it. Well, I was at Woodbine one day, and I told that you can do the tours and go into the announcer's box. And I said, yeah, I like the one horse. It was a long shot. And the announcer was doing the show. I'll try to find the video. The announcer's running he was doing the race. And then he's pointing at me going, your horse is coming in. Your horse is coming in. It was a great experience. I had a great time. All right. So let's take a look here on the schedule. Let's go to the SBI, the Sports Betting Index. And let's see. Well, there's an Eddie. Eddie Armstrong's in the house. How you doing, Eddie? There's always an Eddie in the sports betting, right? Hey, when you stick around a while, you'll always find an Eddie. I don't know what it is. Eddie's a popular name in sports betting. So, hey, how you doing, Eddie? Eddie Armstrong is in the house, and we always feel it's a better show when there's an Eddie in the house. I don't know why. Eddie's such a great name, right? In the gambling world. Looking at the SBI last night in the NBA. And you know what? We kind of cooled off on the favorites. 6-5 to the favorites. 4-0 the night before. 8-1. So yeah, when you compare it to the weekly average, 55% last night. That's a new word. Yesterday night. Last night, 55% of the favorites came in, and only 45% of them covered. So isn't it always amazing? It's always when the favorites win. There's always like a one. Like say 6 favorites win, 5 of them will cover. If you just go down the road, it's always 1 or 2 off, right? It's just amazing. Like 4 here, 2 there, 8 here, 7 there, 9. Here's the odd one, the 3. 5-5. It's just amazing that I say it all the time. If you can pick straight up winners, you'll have a good chance of covering the spread as well. Looking at the over/under, we're in the neutral market in the last 7 days in the NBA. 48.7% of the favorites come in, so neutral markets right now in the NBA. All right, let's take a look at not Major League Baseball. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Hey, I'm too excited for opening day. I'm already clicking on Major League Baseball. NHL, let's take a look at the NHL. 57% of the favorites came in last night. They finally, because it was a dog day afternoon the last 3 days on underdogs in the NHL, and eventually what goes up must come down, and the favorites came in last night 4-3 to the over, and the puck line 2-5, favoring the puck line for the underdogs. On a 7-day average, betting favorites 44%, neutral market, same thing with the over-unders, and bear market right now in the puck line for favorites. All right, let's take a look at the market index. Let's see which team in the NBA is a bullish team right now. And this is what I was saying at the top of the show, right? Ron's rant. Learning to win at sports betting, finding winners. How do you find winners? And if you just focus on betting on winning teams and using the less is more theory, these are the teams you want to focus on right now. The alpha type teams, the A type teams, and look at Sacramento. Hey, Buddy Bucket's still winning. In fact, I believe they beat San Antonio last night. Was it them against San Antonio? I thought it was last night, that game. San Antonio, let me see here. Minnesota, yeah, Sacramento, San Antonio. So another win last night. You know, it's surprising because the San Antonio Spurs are normally good at home, but when a team is in a bullish, and this is what I mean, right? When a team is bullish, you got to be careful betting on them because you just never know. B-type team, look at that. See, San Antonio losing to Sacramento last night, and that got them in the Bear Club, right? So now the Spurs are bearish, and they're the only team in the Bear Club that has a winning record, and that's something you want to monitor because that could be an early indicator of bad things to come for the Spurs. And let's take a look at the NHL. And while I do that, let's take a look at what the bullpen are saying. He's making it sound like we're live at the trial. Oh, yeah, we already read that. And to bless your MLB season, try eating a bag of spits with your first game. Yeah, I don't think I'd be too happy having a bunch of sunflower seeds in the office. Hey, getting up, crack, 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 crack. That'd be kind of funny though. I don't think Mrs. Raymond would like that. Hey, come in the office and she sees sunflower seeds. Hey, just start chatting. Hey, how you doing? Hey, no, I don't think that'll fly here, Sniper. Good day. There's Chad. How you doing, Chad? How is Sacramento a B team? How is Sacramento a B team? Were they a B team in the index? Let me see. I have to check their record. Let me see here. Go back to the NBA. And we'll see exactly how they ended up being a B team. They shouldn't be a B team. I think they're a C team, right? So it could be just a glitch in the system. So let me see here. Look at the standings. And Sacramento sitting at 22 and 25. Yeah, so they're a C-type team. I don't know how they ended up being a B. Were they a B? Yeah, no, they're a C right here. Sacramento's a C-type team. And if you do the confidence level, maybe that was an old page. Yeah, if you look here, you can see that they're a C-type team. And there they are, a C-type team. San Antonio is a B-type team. So San Antonio, you're throwing me off there. Who said that? Johnny? Hey, Sacramento is a C-type team. Fabulous 365 says the Sabres Flyers P3 was a plot twist. Kings won last 5 games. 4 against crap opponents, says Andreas. All right, so that is the NHL. Let me see, NHL right here. Nashville. You know, I think this Nashville-Dallas game is going to be a trap tonight. I got a nice system on the Dallas Stars, and I'll get to that in just a second. But Nashville is now a bullish team. The one thing with Nashville, though, they got some really good goaltenders. You know, Philly's looking for goalies. I know Nashville will never give up Saros, but Pekarine's almost at the end. He's like the Dominic Hasek right now, the NHL, him and Brian Elliott. But Nashville's in a good goaltending situation. And looking at the teams in the Bear Club, no B or A or B in the Bear Club. So you can see a lot of teams right now in the NHL are in neutral, meaning they're either 4-3 and 3-4, and that's exactly what we want. If you're a law of average bettor, this is exactly what you're looking for, right? And we talked about that many times during the show. All right, what's next on deck here? The Bears and Bulls. Okay, Major League Baseball. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you guys my Major League Baseball futures selections, all right? I'm going to go by division. And looking at Major League Baseball division last year, last year was a really COVID situation. It wasn't a long season. They only played, 60 games? And I'm going to start off with the American League East. Now, the Blue Jays look really good, and I know you're thinking, oh, he's a homer, he's going to take the Blue Jays. Not so fast, my friends. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Rays to take the American League East at plus 610. I think the Rays, even though they lost Charlie Morton and Snell, I still think that, they got a good core of players still there. The pitching, they got Archer back from Pittsburgh. He's back in Tampa Bay. So I think going with the Tampa Bay Rays is a pretty good wager. I know the Yankees. I think it's more sizzle than steak, right? It's the Yankees, and I know they're going to be always in the top, and I know they're favorites, but I'm just not buying the Yankees, even though I'm wearing a Yankee hat saying that, right? But I think I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Rays to win the American League East at plus 610, and you can bet them again at Bookmaker. All right, let me go to the next division here, and the next division I'm going to take is let me close that window right there, and I'm going to look at the Central. Now, this was an interesting review yesterday when I was looking at this. Now, obviously, Minnesota is they won the division last year by one run, one game, 36-24. I'm going to go with the Chicago White Sox plus 110. It's the favorite. It's probably one of the favorites. But I think the Chicago White Sox, they made a lot of changes in the offseason. Tony La Russa's there. And looking at their starting pitching for this year, and let me just bring up their starting pitching right now. Lucas Giolito, Dallas Keuchel, Lance Lynn. Now, Lance Lynn is one of my favorites. I know. I'm just glad he's out of Texas because it's tough to pitch in Texas when you're pitching a gem and you're getting no run support. Dylan Cease and Carlos Rondon for the Chicago White Sox, and Liam Hendricks is your closer. And you got a lot of bats in the lineup, right? So I'm going to go with the Chicago White Sox to win the Central at plus 110. Now the National League West. The National League West, to me, it's a two-horse race. I think it's between Oakland and Houston, and I'm going to take a flyer with the Houston Astros. I'm going to go with the Houston Astros. I know they finished 7 games behind, but when you look at this Astro team, they're a veteran-led team. They still got Altuve, Bregman, Correa. The starting pitcher is Zach Greinke is getting up there in age. McCullers just signed that contract, but I do like the Houston Astros this year, and I'm gonna go with the Houston Astros to win the National League West, and which report shows Bull to Bear rankings. So when you go on the website, go to dashboard and then go to market index Fabulous 365. Have to catch it later. Thank you, Lonnie says. Hey Raymond, pretty busy. Stop in to say hi and well-deserved thumbs up. Thanks, buddy. And let me just check out some of the other comments before I get on to the next one. So the Houston Astros plus 113 is what I'm going to take for the National League West. National League East. Now, this is going to be a great race. And again, to me, it's the Atlanta Braves. I'm taking the Atlanta Braves at plus 112. They finished number 1 in the division last year's 4-game. I think the Mets are going to give them a run for their money. They made a lot of acquisitions in the offseason, new ownership. So the Mets are going to be to reckon with. And you know what? They went out and looking at the New York Mets lineup right now, Francisco Lindor had a pretty good preseason training camp. And, looking at the starting pitcher, Jacob deGrom, Stroman, Walker, Peterson, Lucchesi from San Diego. The Mets are going to be good, but I'm going to stick with the Atlanta Braves. To me, the Braves, going out and getting Charlie Morton was a big acquisition. I thought that was pretty big. And looking at the Atlanta Braves, their lineup: Freddie Freeman on first base, Travis Deneau behind the plate, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley at third, Danson Swansby. You know what? Atlanta, give me Atlanta to win the National League East. Now, here's where I think we're really going to make our money. In the American National League Central Division. So the first one I gave you guys was the American League. This is the American League Central. Now, when I look at this here last year, I remember doing the shows with Ross, and I'm saying, anybody could have won that division last year except for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pirates were just never, the only chance they had was opening day, and that was about it. That was the only time they were in the same conversation. But, the Cubs, Cardinals, Reds, and Milwaukee Brewers, those are the teams in the American Central Division. And I'm going to take a flyer here. And sometimes you got to go against the grain, right? And can you guys guess which team I'm going to take here to win the American Central Division? I'll give you guys a few seconds to think while I bring up the roster of this team. Who do you think that I think is going to win the American Central Division? Who do you guys think I'm going to like here? All the baseball fans gone home? Hey, we got no baseball fans here? All right. Exactly. Chad Suzuka nailed it. First pick, he got it. Milwaukee. I'm going with the Milwaukee Brewers here to win the Central Division. When you got Yelich and you got the best closer in Josh Hader, closing the door. Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns. This guy has so much potential. If the first two in the rotation can have a great year, then you got Freddie Peralta, Brett Anderson, Adrian Hauser. Christian Yelich needs to have a big year, and you got Jackie Bradley in the outfield, Lorenzo Cain. You got some bats here, but having a closer like Hader in the bullpen is going to be huge. And if you want to take now, if you really want to play, if you really want to go crazy and take them to win the World Series, they're at 5,088 now. I don't think they're going to win the World Series. I think the Dodgers are the team to beat. But if Milwaukee makes it to the playoffs and you bet them, say if you put $100 on the Brewers, and if they make the playoffs, now you got yourself a nice hedging opportunity at plus 5,088. So I'm going to take a chance here with the Milwaukee Brewers on a nice long shot here. And it obviously, I don't think they're going to win the World Series, but again, and Craig Counsell's the manager. You got some, and keep in mind the Brewers won the division a couple years ago, so they're not far removed from being the top dog in the division, right? But if you can take the Brewers at plus 588 and they make the playoffs, then you can start hedging and you can make some money down in the playoffs. And then the last team, National League West, the Dodgers. The Dodgers, minus 290, but I'm not going to lay minus 290. And I think, the Dodgers and, the Rays. I think the Dodgers and Rays in the World Series again is what I'm probably predicting. All right, there you have it. That's my Major League Baseball future selections today. I would love, Bo Jackson says Dodgers and Blue Jays. I would love to see the Blue Jays there, but I think the Dodgers in the National League I think the American League is going to be wide open. I think the whoever's going to play in the American League East, they're going to come from the American League East division. Whoever wins the American League East, I think will be the team that probably goes to the World Series, and maybe Houston as a long shot. The Central, I don't know. I just don't know if they have the starting pitching in the Central Division to get to the show. All right, there you have it. That's the Andrea says, I know nothing about baseball. I'm waiting for NBA and NHL. Yeah, and there you go. Speaking of that, let's get to the NBA. Only 4 games on deck here today. And, only 4 games. I don't feel we're going to rush, and this is why, we'll do a premium report here on tonight's game. Now, Charlotte Hornets, a 3-point favorite against the Washington Wizards. 228's the total. I got Charlotte winning this one, 117-114. The over-under set at 232.47. Now, I'm trying to see if I got any system plays here today. Hey, how did you like that system play on Memphis yesterday? We had a system play on Memphis. That was a winner against Houston, and unfortunately, Chicago did not get. We went 1-1 with our systems yesterday. So, nice winner yesterday. That was my 5-unit play on the over in Memphis, Houston. Back to this one here. I got 117 to 114, so I got them winning by 3. 6-4 in the last 10, 2-8 to the under. Looking at the value index here, Charlotte overvalued. You have a B neutral type team. Now, they've been neutral for 12 days, and you got a C neutral type team. And depending on what type of bettor you are, if you're betting C type teams, you got a B versus a C. And if you look at the last 10 games for Charlotte in Washington, 2-8 straight up and against the number. And looking at Washington's last game, coming off a big win over the Pacers as I believe they were a home dog of 5.5. I think that was the line. Was it? Oh no, 7 went up to 7.5. Wow. So big win for the Wizards in their last game. Now they're 10-14 at home, 11-13 against the number, 27-18 to the over on the season. And the last time these two teams met, the Hornets won 119-97. And I'm just going to scroll right down to see if there's any. I think the totals where you probably want to lean in this one. Let me see some of the total numbers here. Anything that really sticks out? I don't see anything really sticking out here, except for Washington at home coming off a win, 6-0 to the over. So maybe the over. What's the Kogo at? 55%. So you might have a good spot here on the over tonight. And this is what I mean about sports betting, right? Every day is not going to be a Picasso. You can't paint the perfect winner, but you got to follow the markets and you got to see what's come in, and maybe totals. Sometimes when you're not feeling and especially when you look at the SBI and you're seeing the favorites come in at a high clip, then you want to wait for a neutral market, and that's what I do. And I wait and I'll bet more totals, just like I did last night, right? Betting Memphis and the over in that Houston game. All right, let's take a look at the Sixers taking on the Denver Nuggets. Now, Denver in the last game coming off a 126-102 win over the Hawks. And Philly lost to the Clippers 122-112. And looking at the lineups here, let me check the one thing you have to do now is you got to check the injury report, because we're getting at that point of the season where you're going to start teams load management, right? Just like what Ron does on weekends when he doesn't do the show. He's on load management, hey? As you guys have already dubbed me, load management Ron on weekends. But, so hey, even Ron needs a break here on the weekend, right? But looking at the lineup here tonight, so you got Embiid, he'll be out for a while. George Hill is out. Let me see here. Whittington. Denver looks okay. The thing is, when you look at these lineups, you want to see the main guys, right? The main players, the core. The Batman and Robins. You want to see if there's a Batman and Robin in the lineup. And anytime you take a Batman or Robin out of a lineup, it does affect the outcome. And the line will tell you. I always say the line will tell you if Batman or Robin is out of the lineup. Now the Denver Nuggets a 4.5-point favorite. The over/under set at 220. I got Denver winning tonight, 115-109. The over/under at 224. Both teams are pretty hot right now. 7-3 straight up for Denver. 8-2 for the Sixers without Embiid. Pretty good. And looking at the Philadelphia 76ers, are bullish. 29 straight days of being in the Bull club. They're only 2-4 against A-type teams. But look at that. Both these teams struggle against the alpha teams, right? So they're almost like fool's gold, right? They beat the beatables, but they struggle against the good teams, but not Philadelphia at home. Philadelphia at home is a different story, but Philadelphia on the road, in fact, what's their road record? 13-10. Yeah, see, so here's a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde syndrome going on Philly. They're 19-4 straight up at home, but only 13-10. And this is why, going back to the Ron's rant of the day, learning to win at sports betting home favorites at and they're A-type teams or B-type teams, you got to pick your spots, right? And think of teams like stocks. Like, are you going to bet Apple every day, or are you going to bet every stock in the stock market, right? And that's the type. If you are a sports investor, maybe that's a strategy you use. But if you're just an action junkie, then it's just amazing how we follow the herd, right? When you ask people, why do you bet like that? Well, everybody does that, right? Yeah. Oh, we know that theory, how that goes, right? Sometimes you got to challenge yourself, and some of the things we do in life make you feel uncomfortable, changing your habits, changing the way you bet on sports. If you're not winning, and if you don't change your philosophy, or you don't go back to the drawing board like I did 5 years ago, then and if you're not winning, then continue. What's the definition of insanity, right? So I don't know. little bit of a rant here in the matchup between Denver and Philly. But what else do you expect here on the rain report, right? How's the Goldie doing? So what does that mean, Andreas? How's Goldie doing? Is Bill out again? If so, Hornets. Hey, Ronald, did you get Friday a new home yet? Yeah, we bought Friday a new home. If you missed the show last week, last Friday, 3 minutes before coming on the show, I went to the kitchen, and there was water all over the floor, and our aquarium broke, and my niece's fish was like, oh, no, I got to get a new home for Friday. She called her fish Friday. So, yeah, we got Friday a new home, and Friday is doing well on a Tuesday. Friday is doing well on a Tuesday. But, yeah, that was kind of funny. Animal House, eh? Looking at Denver at home, 13-9 compared to, it's funny, right? You got an A-type team in Denver, and some teams do better on the road than they do at home. Look at that, 13-9 at home, 15-9. Maybe the altitude is working against its own product here at Denver. Looking at the Sixers' last 10 visits to Denver, 6-4 straight up, but look at that, 9-1 in Denver at the new, I used to call it the Pepsi Center, but I hear now it's the Ball Center, or Ball, right? In Denver, they changed the name of the stadium, or the building. So the Ball Center, I think it's called. Let me check a look here. I meant Friday, Ron. Okay. Yeah, Friday, Goldie. I thought you were trying to say goalie. Hey, how's the goalie doing? Pulling by the goalie. Fabulous 365. Hey, Ron, which report shows bull to bear ranking? Which report? So if you go into the dashboard, go to market index. You'll see it there. You got to be a member to get it. I have 4 dividend stock that every 3 months they pay out. Awesome. Ballerina, says Bo Jackson. All right, so looking at Denver in the last 10 meetings against the Philadelphia 76ers, 3-7 to the under. And if we look at some of the stats here in the systems, again, this might be another one where you play a total, right? Let me see some of the stats here. Denver at home, coming off versus a non-conference opponent like the Sixers, 6-1 against the number. 6-1 against the number. Maybe Denver's worth a look here, but you got an A-type team coming off a loss, and you got a Denver coming off a win. So you're going to have to do your homework on that one. But I got Denver winning 115 to 119. Maybe check out the money line. What's the price on the money line on Denver? Atlanta taking on the Phoenix Suns. Just going to take a quick glance at the lineup here. Don't see any Batman or Robins out of the lineup, so I think we're good to go here. And looking at the number on this game, -5.5 for Phoenix. Over-under at 219.5. ATS forecast, gonna go with the Suns. 120 to 113. The over-under at 233.84. Looking at the Hawks' last 10 games, 7-3 straight up, 6-4 against the number. The value index, though, good value on the Atlanta Hawks, -1.7, and you're getting +5.5. But you're getting a team like Atlanta Hawks against A-type teams, only 2-4 straight up and against the number. And when the Phoenix Suns are at home against B-type teams, so teams that are 500, 3-3, so just 500 all around. Phoenix 15-9 straight up at home, 14-8-2 against the number. And when Atlanta travels to Phoenix, 3-7 straight up, 3-6-1 against the number. And the NBA home favorites on 1 day's rest that are 6.5 to 9 point home favorite, 43-20 on the year. So interesting little number right there. And the Atlanta Hawks, when they face the Phoenix Suns, Phoenix is 6-3-1 in their last 10 games, 3-7 to the under. So maybe the under is worth a look here. Let me take a look at the latest line movement on this game. And I'm seeing this total open up at 222.5, and the early indicators pointing towards the under tonight between Phoenix and Atlanta. All right, last game on deck here. There's Eddie Drake. How you doing, Eddie? And how many of those 14s did they cover? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so LA Clippers have 14 wins in a row against Orlando. Yeah, maybe you have to look at the coverings right there. Side, so LA Clippers -11 against the Magic. Over-under set at 215. ATS forecast, gonna lean with the Clippers here, 115 to 105. So we have LA winning by 10. Now LA coming off a big, last couple of games. Let's take a look at the Clippers. They beat a couple of good teams here, A-type teams, right? 76ers and the Bucks. Is this a letdown spot against a team that's a C-type team in Orlando? Load management. Is this a load management game for Kawhi? Actually, you know what? You got to give Kawhi credit. He's played most of the games, and I think that's because last year a lot of players in the team didn't like this load management crap, and I think they made their voice vocal. And Kawhi probably felt the pulse of that and said, you know what, I'm not going to take any more load management games unless I really need it. And, but the one thing with Kawhi Leonard, and having seen him play in Toronto, he knows his body better than anybody. And when your body's shutting down, then, who cares what people think, right? You got to do what you got to do. All right, so looking at LA Clippers, 8-2 straight up and against the number of the last 10. Overvalued stock here today on the Clippers, minus 6.75. They're on a 6-game win streak. And when they're playing a C-type team, a team below 500, 8-2 straight up, but 6-4 against the number. So they're 60% against the point spread at home against teams below 500. And the Orlando Magic have never beaten a team on the road that's A-type team. They're 0-4, 1-3. Again, I think this is more of a night for the totals. And if you're going to play a total on this one, looking at the Clippers' last 10 games against Orlando, 10-0 straight up, 7-3 against the number. I just, thinking that the LA Clippers coming off 2 huge games against Milwaukee, and hey, who knows? Maybe Milwaukee and Philly could be the teams, or Brooklyn, that come out of the East, and Clippers just faced 2 of those 3 teams, and that could be your NBA Finals down the road, right? If the Lakers don't get their act together, and who knows who comes out of the West, right? Clippers are looking pretty good right now. All right, so there you have it. That's the NBA report here today. Can't believe it's 11:50, man. Time flies when you're having fun doing the Raymond report, right? Fabulous, Ron, thanks for all you do. You're welcome, Fabulous365. There's Plant-Based Junkie. How you doing there, Plant-Based? I think you should do the same, Ron. No load management on weekends. Ron needs load management, right? Hey, Ron needs it's not complete load management. I'm doing research. Hey, I'm doing research on weekend. Hey, good luck to all, and let's get it, says John X. All right, you can see the NBA is done. Everybody's leaving. Elvis has left the building. Hey, as soon as you do the NBA, it's like I feel like playing the clip. Elvis have left the building. All right, let's take a look at the NHL, and let's see what the starting goalies are tonight in the National Hockey League. And, it's good to see Montreal back. There's load management there. They've been on load management for a week and a half. And Carey Price should get the nod tonight against Mikko Koskinen. Yeah, Mike Smith needs a break. Edmonton, big win for the Oilers last night. But we're talking about Tampa Bay and Columbus right now. And looking at the starting goalies tonight for Tampa Bay, probably Vasilevsky. And let me see here. Or actually, is this... McElhaney against Elvis Merzlikins. Elvis Merzlikins getting the call here for the Blue Jackets. And looking at the Tampa Bay, minus 233. The over-under set at 5.5. And did I give out the system on the NBA tonight? Before I go to the NHL, I want to make sure. No, there was no system in the NBA. There was no system in the NBA tonight. Off night for the system. But Columbus and Tampa Bay. Now, one of our systems is on Tampa Bay. That's a team that's coming off a 1-goal loss in their last game. And that's Tampa Bay. They lost 4-3 to the Hurricanes. Tough loss to Carolina. That was a great game. Tampa Bay is a fun team to watch, especially when you're stacked like they are. They're a really good team. There's certain teams you got to watch, right? Tampa Bay is one of them. Florida. I love watching Chicago. For some reason, I love watching Chicago games. The Leafs, always the top teams, right? They play some good hockey, depending on the opponent. Minus 183, so Tampa Bay overvalued here tonight. Columbus on a 4-game losing streak. Columbus is just... I don't know what's going on. Obviously, Tortorella didn't start the year off right with, what was it, Dubois. And then, Laney comes in. Laney doesn't even play like 5 games. He's already on the bench in the third period of 1 game. So Columbus, there's issues in Columbus. It's, one day it's bipolar, right? It looks like the Columbus is pretty bipolar. Let me take a look here. Mark Nations, love all the work and info, making us all better investors. Absolutely, Mark Nation. So Mark, great client here or great visitor. He's also a member at ATS. So appreciate everything you do for us here, Mark, and joining us at the bullpen. G&G, did you find? Yeah, we went to this. Research with Rusty, says Andreas. Yeah, the Rustinator. And so back to this game here. Columbus, when they faced the Tampa Bay Lightning, wow, puck line. Tampa Bay doesn't do well on the puck line. 0-8-2, but 5-5. And Columbus, Tampa Bay coming off a long road trip, right? They 2-1 against Dallas, and then they lost 4-3, and then they lost. So Tampa Bay going through a bit of a headache right here. Let me see here. What their last? Are they? They're still bullish. I think they're still bullish. 5-2 in their last 7. They're 5-2 in their last 7 games, so still a bit bullish. But Tampa Bay at home, it's really tough to go against. 13-2. They got 2. They lost 2 games at home all year, right? So Columbus is in tough here tonight. Montreal and Edmonton. Now Price says here, Sniper Price with an 8.72 history versus Edmonton. Yeah, Edmonton. Carey Price loves to play the Western Canadian teams, right? Edmonton, Vancouver, Calgary. He always does well. I think he's from Vancouver actually, and I know he does well against Vancouver. He loves playing Vancouver. -120. This line surprised me a bit. I thought Edmonton would be the favorite in this game when you consider Montreal has a losing record of 14-17, and then you got Edmonton at 22-14, right? It doesn't pass the smell test to me right now. And you got a team that's been laid off on what now? How many days rest are they going on? They're going on 9 days rest. So I think Montreal is going to have the old rest factor here a bit tonight in the first period. It always takes you a couple of shifts, and haven't played in a long time. It takes you a period to get your legs under you. I think if Edmonton jumps out early on the Canadiens, it could be a long night for Montreal. 7-3 in the last 10 for Edmonton. And looking at the Oilers on the road against teams below 500, 5-3. Big win, 2 emotional wins, right? Games against the Leafs. They won 3-2, and they should have had both wins. If you think about it, they had a 3-1 lead in the third period on Saturday against the Maple Leafs, and they blew it on a cheap goal by Austin Matthews off the skate of Darnell Nurse. Edmonton easily could be on a winning streak here, but you know what? I think Edmonton is the call here tonight. I think Edmonton, even though Price has a good history against the Oilers, I think you got to go with Edmonton in this one here. Florida against Detroit. Good matchup here tonight between the Oilers and the Detroit Red Wings. Now Detroit playing a little bit better hockey of late, coming off 2-game win streak, 4-1 against Columbus, and then 3-1. But then they got smoked by the Predators, 7-1, right? -233 for Florida, coming off a 4-1 win over Dallas. Now it took a big loss on Ekblad in their last game. I don't know what the severity of that leg injury. I know he's probably out for the year. So that's a big blow to the defense for the Florida Panthers. But you still now Barkov has been out, and to me, Barkov is the key here. We'll be ready to return at some point during the current 4 homestand. So he's not official yet, but I think Barkov, because he's not in the lineup, you lose Ekblad, and right now Florida's overvalued. Even though I still think they're the play here tonight, there's a difference between saying they're the play, but betting they're the play, right? I think I'm not going to touch this game as a wager, as a bettor. But I think there's better options on the board. And when Detroit's on the road, Detroit not a good road record, right? 3-13. They're better at home, 9-11. But I think you got to wait and see how Florida's going to react here. Bobrovsky should be in nets between the pipes tonight, and you got Calvin Pickard for the expected goalie for the Red Wings. But I still think that the Panthers are a play, but I wouldn't wager on that game tonight. New Jersey against Boston, and where's plays and parlays, eh? Plays and parlays, you out there? What's going on with your Bruins, your Celtics? Hey, it's been a tough year for plays and parlays. The Patriots, man, lose their quarterback, goes and wins the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. Man, plays and parlays having a tough year. -213 for the Bees right now, and the over-under at 5.5. We got Boston winning on the computer pick here, 3.3 to 2.5. The over-under at 5.9. Looking at the probable goalies tonight in Boston, you got Yaroslav Halak against Mackenzie Blackwood, who's the probable goalie. And when you look at the New Jersey Devils right now, 5-5 in their last 10, coming off a 1-0 win over the Bruins. In fact, they've played the Boston Bruins here a couple times this year. They got their number. Man, they in the last 3 games, the Devils in 4 games, New Jersey's won the last 4 games against the Boston Bruins. Wow, 4-0 in their last 4 games against the Bees. And I think 1-0. Okay, actually 1-0, 1-0, all 1-goal games. They've been all 1-goal games. So let me check, see how the Boston Bruins do after 3 games and 4 nights for the Bees. And at home this year, coming off 2 1-goal game losses, 3-1. And when they're coming off a 1-goal loss, they're 5-0. So, if there's a time you want to bet the Boston Bruins, it might be tonight. And they do fit the system play. But the only bad news is you're laying 213, right? You're laying 213 with the Boston Bruins. But, again, it's like I said the other day, right? Styles make fights, and for some reason, Boston, maybe the old Jacques Lemaire trap system is still embedded in the New Jersey Devils system, right? The left wing lock, they can't get through that left wing lock. Washington taking on the New York Rangers, and let's take a look at the starting goalies tonight for the Washington Capitals. Washington, Ilya Samsonov against Igor Shesterkin. So you got a couple of countrymen going at it tonight. And looking at the last game, I think, was this a home and away series type thing? I thought they played in Washington. Yeah, they played in Washington. Now they're back in New York. So almost like a playoff type game here. And Washington won 5-4. Rangers, you know what? The Rangers play the Capitals tough. If you look at the games in the last couple of games, 1-goal game here. They beat them 3-1. 2-1 right here, and then they beat them 4-1, and then they beat them 4-2. Man, Rangers do very well against the New York Rangers. Rangers at home, 7-9 on the road at home, 8-10 on the road. And Washington though, but Washington 23-11 this season, 10-5 on the road, and they got their work cut out for them tonight at Madison Square Garden. And if you look at their record at the MSG, 5-5 in the last 10. Maybe the total is where you want to go. And let me see here. Yeah, 3-game winning streak for Washington. Actually, no, it can't be a 3-game if they coming off. Let me see. Washington. Oh, okay, they beat them. Yeah, so they are on a 3-game win streak. But Rangers have played them tough. Again, another tough game here. But I'm going to have to probably going to lean with the Rangers. Probably going to lean with New York in this one. All right, Carolina, Chicago. Let's take a look at Carolina against Chicago. Let me check out the bullpen. See if you guys are still alive there in the bullpen. All right, you guys taking notes there? You're not chatting much. Hey, you guys in class taking notes or something? Carolina 156 favorite. The over-under is set at 5.5. ATS forecast going with the Canes 3.3 to 3.04. Over-under at 6.41. I think this is going to be the game of the night. I think there's going to be a lot of speed on the ice. I think if this game goes to overtime, man, you got the Kane line with the Brinket. And then the Aho line, that'll be 3-on-3 be crazy in this game. Looking at the Canes on a 3-game win streak, coming off a 4-3 win. So could be a letdown spot here for Carolina. And the Chicago coming off a 3-2 loss against the Nashville Predators. So, if you're looking for an underdog tonight, maybe Chicago might be a nice spot here tonight. And let me see how they do against Carolina. 5-5 in the last 10, Carolina, but Chicago 3-7 in the last 10. So Chicago doesn't do well against the Canes in the last 10, and the Carolina Hurricanes after 2 days rest are 4-0 on the road this year. So tough spot for Chicago tonight. Again, more research needed. And Dallas taking on Nashville. I think this is a trap play. The way Nashville is playing, they're 7-3. Look at this, a team that's 7-3 against a team that's 3-7. And the team that's 3-7 is favored, right? I know I saw minus 120 this morning. And let me see what the latest line is. So it opened up at minus 120, and it's minus 116 now. And Nashville Predators at home this year against team below 500, 8-1. So that's a little scary right there on a 5-game winning streak. And who's the starting netminder tonight? You got Pekka Rinne against Anton Khudobin. Probable. These are your probable goalies. They're not confirmed. So check out the websites. If UC Cerro starts and that's for Nashville, that's a different story. But if Peke gets the nod, then Dallas might be the play. I think Dallas is the trap play of the night. I think Nashville, if you take Nashville, I think that's a trap. I think Dallas is the call here. But, Rupe Hines, he had a good series against Tampa Bay in Florida. And let me see here. Radulov. What's going on with Radulov? Lower body. Man, Radulov's having struggled to stay healthy this year, and putting a lot of pressure on the Jamie Benn line, right? But you know what? It's tough to go against a team right now, but be bullish. So look at that. Nashville now is 18-18. They entered the B club. They're bullish. It's been 5 days. But I still think, sometimes you got to make that uncomfortable pick, and you got to go against the grain. And I think 80% of the public's going to be on Nashville, but I think Dallas is the call. My boy Michael Mirando hit on a Mega 5-leg parlay 2 days ago. All underdogs except Nashville. Nice. Congrats to Michael Mirando. Nice. You know what? Michael's always... Yeah, I remember him emailing me, say he loves to play 14 parlays, right? Is that the same guy? He loves to play parlays. Mike's a parlay junkie. But, no, hey, you know what? Great. I wouldn't say great. Good show today. Maybe it was great to you. I thought it was good. Again, learning how to win is the Ron's rant of the day, the topic of the day. And if you missed the beginning of the show, check out my rant, learning how to win, and how I'm going to approach baseball season. And again, always, find out what you are. What kind of bettor are you? Are you an action bettor investor, or are you a sports investor? And that's two different money management systems. If you're an action bettor investor, I'm trying to change the word from bettor to investor. If you're an action investor, your money management is completely different than one of a sports investor, right? And sports investors, you got to pick your spots, you got to play a system, and the thing is, remember, gamblers lose 90% of the time. There's a reason why they're opening up sports books everywhere you go, is because they're making money. And the thing is, if you're not making money, then you're doing something wrong. And we'll leave it at that. All right, folks, don't forget, you can get the Rain Report each and every day right here on the YouTube channel. My name is Ron Raymond. I'm a sports handicapper located in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I'm going into my 24th season of handicapping, and enjoy doing this, bringing you guys information, bringing you the show each and every day, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, please give me a thumbs up, or give us a thumbs up, because we're a team here. We've got some great people who are behind the scenes working. We got snipers helping out with the marketing. We got, Scotty also doing our SEO. We got Pradeep, our programmer. And we got a pretty good team here at the ATS PST Network gaming site. All right, folks, don't forget, if you're interested in membership and you want to get the Rain Report, 27 cents a day, $99 for the year. You get the entire access to the website except my premium picks. Premium picks are only $99, and you will get my top plays each and every day for only $99. That's 27 cents a day, and that's including my baseball picks, which I'll be posting eventually. And if you want to see what I've done in the last 25 selections, you can see them by go to picks, go to Ron Raymond, and you can see my last 25 picks. And you can see I'm just a bit above 50% in this cycle. So, and that's where, people always ask, they send me emails and say, what's your win percentage? Who knows? All I know is I cash out on Monday. And I'm being serious. Like, I don't know my record. I post my 25 picks. I go on cold streaks, but I go on hot streaks. If I had to pick a range of what my win percentage is, I would say it's anywhere between 50 and 57%. And that's the God honest truth. That's my winning percentage, 50 to 57%. And if anybody tells you they win in the long run at 100, like at a very high percentage, like 75%, 80%, I would say show me. Show me, hey, I would say Missouri. Show me state, right? Missouri. And then that's the way it is. It's a tough industry, but you got to have a system on how do you make money, and hopefully we will show you that this year. All right, folks, have yourself a great rest of your day. And you know what? Shop for value, play those percentages. We'll see you back here on a Hump Day Wednesday. Cheers.